My recovery group helped me see something this week that I haven't been noticing and I'm still sitting with. I've been under-earning my whole life as a way to hide, to not be seen. And if somehow you have been under-earning as a way to hide and not achieve your full potential and not sure why you keep playing small, then this video is for you. My name is Gerald and I am money drunk. And if this type of topic resonates with you, then go ahead and gently hit that like button. So all my adult life, I have been an under-earning. I haven't been earning what I deserve. I've consistently taken jobs, no matter what field I was in, whether I was in a personal trainer or I was in software sales, or I was working in fine dining restaurants. No matter what it was, I was taking low paying jobs, and or I would be a freelancer, like being a personal trainer, and I wouldn't follow up with clients, and I wouldn't actually engage with the people that I needed to, wouldn't ask for raises, wouldn't do the things that I needed to in order to advance my career or in order to make more money. And like I said, this was regardless of whatever industry I was in. So I couldn't blame it on something like people in X industry don't make a lot of money. It didn't matter. The more and more that I took a look at this, the more and more I just convinced myself that I was just bad with money, or I wasn't good at earning, or, Gerald always loses his job. Put the blame on something else. Even though I was blaming myself, I still wasn't taking responsibility for it. There were a couple times that I remember distinctly when I was a personal trainer. I had a potential client, one of my existing clients gave me a referral, and I just never followed up with that referral. And like 2 months later, I was like, oh yeah, do you still want to work with me? And the referral said, no, I found somebody else who got back to me right away. And that's a perfect example of me under-earning. And nobody told me that under-earning was a problem. I thought it was just I was being lazy, or like I said, I wasn't good with money. I never understood that it was a problem with hiding, with playing small. And that's what I want to talk about next. So when you're playing small when it comes to money, that means that you're not charging what you're worth, or you're not taking jobs that match your expertise or level of education. You're taking jobs and you're accepting money that is much below that. So that means that whatever your basic needs are, you typically are only able to meet that, or you're making just enough to be below what you actually need to live. And that was the trap that I would find myself month after month, year after year, decade after decade. And I told myself that it was just because I was bad with money. But what that really comes from is it comes from my childhood. I grew up in a very affluent area in Fairfield County, Connecticut. But in our same town, we moved 6 times. And we moved from one beautiful 3-bedroom home to the next beautiful 3-bedroom home. And I didn't understand why. We never talked about it openly. So money became something that was never talked about, and it was always a secret. And when the other shoe dropped and we ran out of money, my mother couldn't pay for groceries, meaning that they would no longer accept our checks at the supermarket, or we had to once again move with no explanation whatsoever, then that became my norm. That became my familiar zone. Always being on the precipice of running out of money, if not running out of money. That was my comfort zone, but it was by no means comfortable. I was just used to that sort of trauma, that sort of financial chaos just became the norm for me. It was familiar. And because it felt familiar, it felt safe. But it was just the opposite of safe. It was just familiar. And safe and familiar are two entirely different things. So I began running this program in my mind ever since then, that to have money felt dangerous, that no matter how much I achieved or what job I got, if I ever had too much money or had the potential to make too much money, I would do something to self-sabotage that. I would do something such that I wasn't able to make that much money. And that allowed me to continue to play small. That allowed me to be under the radar. That allowed me to remain hidden and unseen. And I never had to rise to the occasion where I could succeed or possibly fail. So then I never really had to worry about failing at all because I would never succeed. I had fallen into that trap of what was familiar. And again, I just labeled it as being bad with money, when the real reason was I just wanted to hide. So just a quick break here. If you ever feel stuck, if you ever feel like you're trapped inside of some of these ideas and concepts of struggling with money, and you have this money shame, this financial anxiety, go ahead and click that link in the bottom in that description and schedule a free call with me. Now let's get back to it. So this is why this is so difficult for me to grasp, why this is such a difficult idea to latch onto. So being small, playing small, and feeling safe, it keeps me in that trap of under-earning, and it's really painful, but it's really familiar. But the moment that I start charging what I'm worth or go for that six-figure job that would actually potentially end my financial chaos, that feels totally unfamiliar. And I tell myself that I can't do it, or I'm not worthy of it, or I don't deserve it. And then that cycle of under-earning starts all over again. And once again, everything is familiar. I'm in that financial chaos. I'm bad with money. I blame myself, and I don't have to stretch. I don't have to grow. And I want to be completely honest with you. I don't have this all figured out. I am able to see the pattern, and that's the very first step, is being able to see that there is a pattern. But my next step is to actually do something about it. So what am I actually doing about it? What I'm doing is I'm hitting that record button every day. I am talking in my groups. I'm staying in the middle of the boat here. I am making sure that I remain visible and that I'm able to talk to the people I know who have been in these similar sorts of situations and can give me suggestions on how they were able to move through it. I'm taking action each and every day. One tangible thing that I can do, whether it be really small or maybe I'm ready for, a big leap, but typically it's pretty small. But doing those sorts of things on a consistent basis, those are the things that build my confidence. Those are the things that build my self-esteem, so I can begin to see myself, instead of being the type of person who always plays small. How can I possibly ask? How can I possibly make more money? Or how can I possibly raise my rates? Instead of asking those sorts of questions, now I'm asking much better questions. What kind of person do I want to be, such that I can earn and grow as much as I want, as much as I can, as much as I deserve? So if any of this made any sense to you, go ahead and hit the like button down below and hit the subscribe button so that you can get more videos just like this, where we talk about money shame and we talk about financial anxiety, all these sorts of money psychology issues that get at the root of why we continue to under-earn, why we continue to remain in pain, and why we're not being the best versions of ourselves. And watch this next video here And this is the perfect example. This shows you exactly where I was when I first recognized these patterns. And join me on this journey as I continue to get money sober.